So let's move on to Battlefield 1. We're recording this on, what's today's date? Wednesday, August 31st, the first day of Battlefield 1's open beta. Nate, fill the listeners in on our first impressions.
Well, I'd like to throw in there that open should be in quotation marks, because the beta is far from open. We each got to play individually, and my initial thought is that the guns don't feel powerful, at least not the single-fire rifles. I mean, 2 shots to the chest from a single-shot rifle, it pretty much putting anybody down in a World War I setting.
It took a lot less than that sometimes, homie.
Oh, I know it, but you can't have hyper realism. You can't have hyper realism, otherwise it's boring. So, but 2 shots,
dead center.
Yeah, dead center should put somebody down. I like the destructibility of the environment again. Every building that I came across could be completely destroyed.
Hells yeah.
That was fantastic. That's amazing. I like the mounted weapons. They're very useful and yet put you in danger. So there's that like dichotomy of do you or do you not.
Mm-hmm.
I do not like that I fired a tank shell and hit a paper airplane dead on, because let's not fool ourselves. Airplanes in World War I were basically made of paper.
Mm-hmm. They were paper wrapped over steel construction, weren't they? Most of them.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And it didn't die, and I hit him like dead center. So that was not cool. Overall, I think it's
pistols out the window at each other because it could fuck up your wing.
I don't like how powerful airplanes are. They're not really that powerful, and very rarely as an infantry person do I ever die to them in the hour and a half I got to play. But airplanes were more reconnaissance in World War I than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
I think they could have skipped on the airplanes and not lost much in the game. I like the addition of the cavalry, even though I'm awful with it. I ran a guy over once with it. That was awesome. He got trampled by a horse, and there was just a picture in my brain that was awesome.
Right.
I think it's a good addition. I like the World War I. I hope they make the single-fire weapons more powerful. Snipers in World War I were real for a reason.
Yeah.
And trench warfare was real for a reason as well, which they didn't do too much trench warfare. I was hoping they were going to include more.
But trench warfare is so boring.
It is. It is. The ground is destructible to some extent, too. That I like.
Oh, you'd be like making bomb divots and shit?
Yep. If you throw like dynamite and you explode the dynamite, it leaves a little divot in the ground that actually will affect your traversal, which I enjoy. So I sound a little negative about it, but that's just because of the last hour of our experience, where we couldn't get into a server for anything, even though it was empty with 36 people in queue.
there was a couple of 64-player servers with 0 people in it and 72 in queue. It was great. No, the servers failed.
Yeah, because like every EA and DICE release, they don't know how to server.
No.
And the game doesn't know how to game, so you just get unknown error. I know what the error is, EA. I'm pretty sure I got it covered.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a game that will need about a 4-week birth from release, before you go really trying hard, because if you hit it right away, I believe it will be nothing but disappointment.
Oh yeah, I'm super excited about it, but I'm not buying it on release.
No. Well, I will tell you that my impression of the less than an hour that I actually got to play it, it feels, and it's hard to describe feeling, I mean, okay, the way you move as a soldier in the world, the way that's portrayed to you with head bob, weapon bob, the speed of your character, etc., etc., it all feels very Battlefront. And which doesn't surprise me, because this is what the Frostbite 3 engine again.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So it's probably going to feel much the same, because the things that are built into the engine are things like that. I felt okay. I never did, within the hour that I got to play it, I didn't bother to try to figure out how to change classes. I just went with the submachine gun, run gun, see what this feels like, get an impression. Um, and I was satisfied with the submachine gun. It had a nice, one of those drum clips. So I didn't get that feeling that you do with a lot of early 20th century games that, everything's got 7 bullets and shit like that. Um, Even though I don't think there were a lot of viable submachine guns in the First World War, that's okay. Like you said,
No, it's machine gun ness.
nobody likes hyperrealism, so it's whatever.
Gotta have some kind of submachine gun.
Yeah, it's a shooter. Gotta have a submachine gun. And I took out a tank with a pair of anti-tank grenades. That was very satisfying. You see those in your hand? It looks like 6 grenades hanging off of a stick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. That was very satisfying. The sound design seems to be awesome. It does not look as pretty in person as it did on all of the previews I saw from Neebs Gaming and other outlets, because they got to go to exclusive events and whatnot, and they brought home that footage. But it's not a bad looking game. It's a pretty good looking game. It's made in Frostbite 3, so it's bound to be pretty fucking gorgeous.
Right. And don't forget that I still don't know how to fly a plane because I got in one and almost immediately crashed me and my 2 other people right into a wall.
When you spawn into a plane, do you spawn in the sky?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you'll spawn. There's 2 gunners in. I don't know. I didn't get into the depth of the different planes because I'm awful. I've always been awful at flying the planes. Good gunner, awful at flying the planes or the helicopters.
Right.
Whenever Clay and I would play any other battlefields, he would fly and I'd shoot. It normally worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, the different planes, but the plane I was in had 2 gunners, one in the front, one in the back, and then you in the middle flying the plane. And I think I want to say I was dropping bombs. I want to say it was a bomber. And I dropped bombs on something, and because I started out almost directly over a point that the enemies controlled, which was very weird. But so I drop bombs, and then I go to turn, and your axis is always inverted if you don't change it.
Oh.
So yeah, I went to go up and went down and tried to turn and save it and crashed right into a wall immediately. It was sweet.
I hate inverted sticks. I know it makes sense in an airplane or a jet or whatever. It makes perfect sense. But
I'm not actually flying one, though.
No, I'm playing a video game. Let's just let up be up. It's fine.
Right. It makes more sense to my brain when up is up and down is down.
Mark, did you
Rather
ever
than the
play
other way around.
inverted?
What? I can fly the planes just fine.
No. Did you ever play with inverted
Oh,
sticks? Shooters and stuff?
No. That's horrible balls, dude.
Yeah.
Up is up, G.
Up is up, yeah. And I understand people's logic. Like, when you're pushing
Yeah,
a
'cause the
stick
plane-
forward, your
the
head
plane goes
is
down.
aiming, or the flight stick is aiming down. That makes sense. But it never made sense to me in a video game. Because up is just up. It's okay.
I'm sorry. Up is up, dude.
Yeah. So, the viewers are watching me trying to change control settings because apparently, okay, here's what happened. Real quick, in Deus Ex Mankind Divided, you got to do hacking and whatnot, and it has this real 3D visual representation of hacking. And apparently, I remapped the crouch button, and for some reason, initiating different nodes in hacking requires that you use the crouch button, and my remapping broke its functionality in the hacking. So there's that. Anyway, I'm just bitching some more because I'm pretty sure I hate that game. Yeah, Battlefield 1 looks like it is going to have hours of fun in spades.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm not... I cannot... I don't recommend the beta, not yet. I would say if you haven't downloaded it, set it to download and forget about it.
Yeah,
If you
it'll be
have-
fixed by late tomorrow, I'm sure.
Yeah, if you have downloaded it, pick it up tomorrow afternoon, see what's happening. Almost every server was down as of the afternoon of our recording this Wednesday, August 31st. So I imagine they'll shut them down tonight, try to do some hot fixes, see what happens. This is what beta tests are for, right?